Okay, friends, our speaker for today is somebody who always regales us with nature stories because they come from Feather Ranch. Don't you love that name? Feather Ranch. Yes. It's Reverend Joyce Zorger.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning to you on Zoom, too. Well, what a challenge that is to sing and have two different songs going on, and you do so well. You're such a beautiful couple, and your song together, it just lights my heart, lights my way. And having the music of the Christmas time. Am I on? Can you hear me okay? Yeah, I wasn't sure if I came out with this upside down, and that was earlier, and I think somebody called it to my attention. Was it you, Rich? No, it wasn't you. It was another sweet friend of mine here. Anyway, so it was another miracle driving in this morning because I had no cars in front of me, and coming from way out beyond like Lopez Lake, the recreation area, usually when I'm driving in, I have lots of campers and vans, and I get behind them and they're driving like 30 miles an hour, and I'm thinking I got to get here on time and all that. But today it was just smooth sailing all the way. It just seemed like things just opened up for me. And I just love the fact that we have our candles to acknowledge the Advent, the second Sunday, and the Sunday that this is focusing on peace. So I'm trying to incorporate that peace within me. And I mentioned, somebody asked me, how was this morning? I never know how the morning's going to be. So I have to say one thing about my dogs. I thought, well, I'm going to just leave them in the yard and in the garage. And it's my system that I take one out at a time. And I thought, this time I'm not going to take one out at a time because one of them might not come back like they're supposed to, and I'll be late coming in. So I left them both in the yard, in the garage, and I went in the house to fix my breakfast. Theirs was getting heated up. I heat up their breakfast every morning. They're so lucky. Anyway, so I went in and was fixing my breakfast, and all of a sudden I heard Lucy barking at something up in the hill, and then I heard Toby making a noise that tells me Lucy had scanned the fence. And that's what happened. I went out there and he's looking over the fence, and I knew that he would try to dig out or try to hurt himself getting out to join her. So I thought, well, I'm going to put him down at the barn in one of the barn stalls, and he has a big area that he can run out in the pipe stall too. And I brought his food down there and fed him down there. And the barn is about like a football field away, so I'm getting a lot of walking, a lot of exercising because I've already been down and fed the horses and the cat. So I come back, and so anyway, I take Toby down there, bring his dish, his food, put it in there for him to have, and I come back, and I thought, I'll just leave the gate open for Lucy. Whatever she comes back, she'll come back, and I put her food in the garage. And then I opened the garage door to take my car out, and there I see Lucy barking by the road, a high mountain road right out in front. I call her, she looks at me, and she doesn't have her Garmin collar on that I use to it helps me to call her back when she doesn't want to come back. I zap her a little bit with vibration. So she just looks at me, and she knows she doesn't have her collar on, and she does go see it. She's so smart. So I keep calling. Finally, she does return because I have her bowl of food. And Lucy, here's your breakfast. So I bring her in and close the garage door, and I thought, I'm going to take her down. I'm not going to be worried about her. She'll jump over the fence again. I'll take her down to the barn and put her in with Toby. So that was my morning, and so I am happy to be here. And I never, I don't like to have that kind of stress because I want to be relaxed, but the music helped me to relax. And I am reminding myself to take a nice deep breath. And I talked to Tink, and I asked her how Maxwell was, and she said he kept her awake barking at Hoot Owl. And you don't have. I have red fox. I have mountain lion. Rich likes that story. My house has been inundated with wild pigs. Everything is torn up around my property. Everything. It's just all, and my dogs are so used to them that they don't bark at them anymore. They don't care. They're part of Feather Ranch now, the wild pigs. Anyway, I am so, faith lights our way. That is, and faith has lit my way for many, many years. And I have, a few weeks ago, when Sheila Cochran, she mentioned about her electric bill being so high, and I came across this. I'd like to read this to you. This is, you could all relate to this. So I just got my electric bill, and I believe that I just got charged for the sunlight, the moonlight, the street light, the light of my life, the speed of life, the light of the Holy Spirit, and the light at the end of the tunnel. My electric bill, I mean, yeah, it keeps going up, up, up. And so, and I have lights around my house now, and I'm knowing that January is going to be a big bill. Okay, so getting back to my talk, and did you have something that you wanted to share? Yeah, I heard you. I heard somebody.
I'm so glad I have solar.
Oh, I have solar too, but not enough panels, I think. I have to get more one of these days. Okay, so Brian, you've been doing such a wonderful job on the Zoom class that we've been taking on Wednesdays. We have one more Wednesday. I'm looking forward to that because the book is getting to be more understandable. It's called The First Christmas. It's an excellent story. I mean, it's just a beautiful way to give me more information about the whole time, about Advent and what the Gospels really teach us about Jesus' birth. There's a part of the book that we are now on part 3, and it's entitled Light, Fulfillment, and Joy. And I love that last part, those chapters. And this past week we focused on light and fulfillment being the birth of Jesus. And Jesus, they refer to, the Gospels refers to Jesus as the light of the world, the Prince of Peace, and Emmanuel, God in us. And I love how. And I think sometimes with all the glitz and glamour of the holiday season and all the Advent calendars that no longer have scripture, it's more like, you said chocolate candy and all kinds of things that you can get an Advent calendar for. But it's just, I want to stay focused on what the reason for the season is all about. And so this class has really helped me to do that. It's brought me back into the way I thought of Christmas years ago when I was a little girl. I had something that I came across that I just, and it was something I wrote back in 2007, and it was on December 16th, and it's, the title was What Christmas Means to Me. And when I reflect on what Christmas means to me, my mind becomes flooded with thoughts and memories. The child in me seeks ways to recapture the joyous anticipation of Christmas morning when I was a child. I remember waking up to a magical transformation in our living room. Someone called Santa delivered and decorated a tree sometime during the night and left presents for our family. Some wrapped, some not. Santa filled my sock with some nuts and candy and a candy cane and a tangerine. I must have been very good. And back then, it was in the 40s, and you hung your own sock, and my feet weren't that big, and so my sock was kind of small. But I never, it was a couple of walnuts, and Brazil nuts, and a candy cane, and a tangerine. That's what was in my stockings, my sock. Not Christmas stockings that are hung like that. So I guess I left my water. There it is, right there. Excuse me just a minute. I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Yeah. He still has his right arm. Okay, let me finish this story. What Christmas means to me. As I grow to the person I choose to be, and I like that, the person I choose to be, Christmas has become more about giving than getting. My childlike anticipation has turned to adult-like participation. It's up to me to create or be touched by the experiences that add meaning to my life. I have always been fascinated by the stories of the birth of Jesus. That's why I love this reminder to me. The Christ child and Jesus the man. Jesus the Christ child and Jesus the man. The highest order of human being that ever lived. Now I see the deeper meaning as parables, heralding the awakening of our awareness to something higher than the superficial life that we may have known. Each of us has within us a spark of the highest order, a divine spark, if you will. And when expressed in loving kindness to ourselves and to others, we exemplify that great example, Jesus. We all have the potential to develop our awareness of the mystical and to become transformed in consciousness. The inner world is the greatest present of all, though now covered by surface personality. Christ's birth is the shining star to light the way to the reality of the inner world. Our desire for something higher acts as springtime to that sleeping seed of consciousness, the divine light within each of us. And I wrote that, and I thought, I spent hours putting together my talk for today, and then I came across this last evening, and I thought, that says it all for me, what Christmas meant to me way back then, and as a little girl. And it was just, I just remember, it was, I have more appreciation for my mother and how she created that specialness for me. And all of you, some of you may remember how it was for you when you were little. And we want to hold on to those special feelings that we had. It's magical. I love the magical feeling that Christmas has always been for me. And even on Christmas Eve, though I'm by myself now on Christmas Eve, I light candles, and I really do a lot of meditation, a lot of soul searching for how my life has been up until that point. And I feel that this is a quiet time. It's time for us. I live a very busy life, but I also have a very quiet environment where I live. And so I have that opportunity to be able to gather that quiet around me and really go into a soul searching of what my life is all about, and how I express my love that Jesus has brought, with that Christ presence that we each have within each one of us, that Christ presence that is so powerful. This is totally away from all my talk. I had page and page, and I love Richard when he talked to the inspiration. I mean, that could have been my talk, Richard. Thank you. You did such a good job for that. I remember Ernest Thoma. I studied science of mind, religious science for many years. I became a practitioner back in the early 90s. And I remember we talked about, Ernest Thoma says that he's the founder of religious science and author of the science of mind. And he referred to Jesus as the great example, not the great exception. And I like that, because he's the great example of what we, having that Christ presence within each one of us, can exude that love, that care for the human race, and to be all that we can be here on this earth, not to do no harm. And I like what Jesus said back in John 14:12. He said, "The things that I have done, you also shall do, and greater than these shall you do." So the Christ presence within each of us, that is the legacy that this birth of Jesus, all of this has inspired in me, and that's what I inspire to be. We talked about the Unity's theme for December is the cornerstone. He says faith is Unity's theme for December and is the cornerstone for our spiritual journey. Of course, Richard, you talked about the definition of faith. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. Faith comes with the confidence in the presence and power of the God within. The God within, we call it Christ consciousness. That's what I refer to it as being. And I believe that Jesus was the great example. And that's why I honor the verse story and all of the beautiful, the song, the music, and I affirm that my faith gives me confidence, courage, and clarity, and I'm able to accomplish all that is mine to do. And for me, it quiets that chaos and the fear that comes up in my mind. Sometimes when I hear certain sounds during the night, I wonder, it creates the fear. And then I just go within and say, cancel. This is not the truth of my being. I am. God is, and I am at peace, and I enfold that peace within me, and it quiets my mind that wants to go off in different directions in the middle of the night. I recall when I was a little girl, I had a little necklace that it was like a little round ball, and inside there was a little mustard seed. And I wore that all the time. And it gave me a lot of, it inspired faith within me, because that little mustard seed, I remember reading that when I wore it, I was remembering the Bible quote, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. So I feel like I have been moving mountains these last several years. And I really do, and I've shared a lot with you. And I wish I could find my little ball with the mustard seed inside to remind me, but I have it in my mind. I do remember. It clears away the darkness by helping us have a shift in perception. I like the Course in Miracles, and Chris has taught that many years, and at his beautiful place and Peaceful Point, and that shift in perception from fear to faith. Shift in perception from fear to faith. And that's what I incorporate that, and I remember that. I remember those words. Faith is more than just a feeling. It is an action and a conscious choice to turn to and trust in God. And with the light of faith and determination, we make up our minds that we are no longer going to stay in the depths of defeat or despair. When we do, the powers of the universe rush to our aid, as though God takes our hands and lifts us up. And this is something I remember. I am reminded of the words of Eckhart Tolle. Most of you know who he is, and he's a very powerful spiritual teacher. And he says, your perception of the world is a reflection of your state of consciousness. Your perception of the world is a reflection of your state of consciousness. Clean up your state of consciousness. When you find yourself going down that rabbit hole of fear, you know what to do. You know how to release that. And I'll get to that in a minute, but we all experience challenging times, and when we do, I remind myself that my faith, my friends, my family, they strengthen my resolve to move through them. And I always have said all the things that I've been experiencing in the last 3 or 4 years, my faith, family, and friends, my lifetime. I can't, all of us have stories that we can tell. I wish we could share some of these stories of recovery and resilience, and we all have that. And that's why we're here. We're here because we join together in the love that we feel that God is, and we express that Christ's presence that is within each one of us to each of us here. Good morning, how are you? And just call, if I ever feel lonely at home, and I live out on a 45-acre property, and it's lonely and quiet out there. But what I do is I call a friend, or I read something that will inspire me, or I go out and play with my dogs, or brush my horses, groom my horses. There's always something we can do to get ourselves out of that place of feeling alone. And it's up to us. We can't depend on someone else to do it for us. I have heard this here, and I've heard this way back years ago, but it also helps me to rely on humor. It lightens the weight of my life's challenges. I like this suggestion. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I don't have to build a condo there. And so I was talking to my daughter last night on the phone, and she is going through all kinds of trauma, and I wish I could have remembered that, but I don't know. I don't want to, I want to listen. I'm a good listener. I have 3 daughters, and I've learned to be a real good listener to the things that are going on in their lives. So prayer, affirmations, meditation, and community support help to strengthen our faith, reminding us that we are never alone on our journey. This is our community that helps us and supports us and moves us through any challenges that we may be feeling. Over the years, our community have shared in the joy of the season by having a Christmas party. A few days ago, we celebrated, I think it was somebody said it was 26 years of a Christmas party here at the Unity Five Cities. A variety of food and drink, along with the music of Christmas, provided our members help to lighten up our lives. And Nina, you performed the night before Christmas. You're just, every year you get better at doing that, and it's just so exciting to hear you say that. And every year when my daughters were small, I would read Christmas Eve. I would always read the night before Christmas to them, and they look forward to that. And I remember my youngest daughter was born on December 5th, and so I have picture. John took some videos of I don't know if it was called videos then, but it was back in what was the year 1963 that my last daughter was born. And I have this video of me kneeling on the ground and my two of the older daughters sitting there and the baby in her little infant seat. And I was decorating the tree. And it was just, it was just, no, I was reading. I was reading the night before Christmas to my other daughters, even the baby. When she was quiet, she wasn't crying. It was, these memories are something that keeps me keeping on. Thinking of these memories and keeping a journal. I journal write, and as I said before, I'm still looking for the journals that I can't find. After the flooding in my home, I had to move everything upstairs into one of the bedrooms, and they're all up there. They have not thrown them away, but one of these days I'll find them and enjoy reading them again, or maybe not enjoy reading them again, enjoying maybe the challenges that were taking place. So we have so much to be grateful for, and I want to personally thank all the loving hands that helped to make this a very special night on Friday night. I don't drive at night anymore. It's too dark out there where I live. I might end up in Lopez Lake if I'm not careful. So I have Vicki and Wayne, and they are the ages of my children, and they live on my property now, but they haven't been back since the evacuation in last August. So I've been out there kind of alone. They come and go, and they make sure they're having issues with the mist or some smells that they said a rat got into one of their and they're trying to clean out that. And anyway, they're going to be back in another week. So that's what they told me. But they came on Friday and they had such a good time. We sat here and enjoyed the music and enjoyed the good food. So and Brian, we missed you so much, but your wife did a beautiful job in explaining your situation, and we were grateful that she was here. I asked her how you were, but she didn't. She had probably had so many people asking her before she was able to see. I want to tell everybody all at the same time, so that's what she did. Okay, so I can't. I love this book. This is the book I always get. It's The Love of Christmas. I love this. What this says here. It says, "Make no mistake, friends, this is a season of powerful manifestation. Let us prioritize moments that strengthen our inner peace so that our words are spoken in love and our actions reflect conscious intention. Doing so doesn't just create a more meaningful holiday season, it sets the tone for the life we wish to live in the year ahead." And it just has such good wisdom. I really enjoy reading that. And also the prayer. Take advantage of calling Unity for prayer. They have some amazing people that do prayer when you need a prayer. And sometimes after the experience this morning and trying to settle myself down, I called Unity, and the gal that talked, she was just so right on, and it helped calm me very much after my dogs get me all riled up. But anyway, I turned to page 5, and I have one more sentence, that I wanted to share. But I think I told you everything I needed to tell you, and I wanted to say that, that was, I guess, that's my message this morning. This is it. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. I'll be back. Thank you so much.